Sometimes my keyboard fucks up a little. There we go.
Hey, I know this guy.
So, commentary track is there. We can get this Kimba footage in here. But I don't have to watch through all of it, really. I can just look for the shit that I've already noted down.
Hey, I know this guy.
All right. I actually want to show you guys some of this fucking bonkers-ass show. I really want to show you some of this. It's fucking insane. It's fucking insane. It's actually ridiculous. It's the most fucked up, crazy thing. So, you got Kimba, right? And people are saying that The Lion King ripped this off. For whatever reason. Perhaps it's because his name is Kimba, and Simba's name is Simba. Even though Simba means lion in Swahili, so you could have easily come to that independently. There's also a dead dad, but the dad dies in a very different way. The dad dies because he's like a fucking idiot, and it's just like, oh, I'll save my wife from these hunters, even though I know that they're planting a trap for me. And this fucking, this...
Not that way. I've got a better way. Quiet now.
If you remember correctly, they traced frames of Kimba? What? That's news to me. Can you please link me that shit? Because I would like to see that in my fucking review. I will mention that if you're correct, but I don't think you're correct at all. I don't think that holds any weight. Please fucking link me that. I don't think that's the case. This is not the same character design at all. This is basically if a lion were a mouse. Or like a weird fucking cat. So they kill Caesar, who is Kimba's dad. And then the wife, his mom, gives birth after they've already captured her. So literally Kimba's just been born. He's been born, and on the day he is born, she's like, you gotta leave. The ship's about to explode. Like, I don't remember what it was. There was an issue with the cargo, or they were like destined to hit something, or there was a leak, but she knew that the ship was gonna fuck up, and she's like, okay, go out of here. And he's like, okay, and he just jumps off the ship in the middle of like the Atlantic Ocean, and it's like during it, oh yeah, there was a storm. They knew that the storm was going to destroy the ship, so he jumps off the ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and manages to latch onto a piece of wood from the ship, even though the ship didn't crash anywhere near him, but whatever. He was swimming before then. And then fish teach him how to swim. And then a shark comes, a shark that nobody's ever seen before. Kind of like a hammerhead shark, but instead of a hammerhead, it's like a swordfish. It's like a swordfish shark. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody's ever seen this shit before. I don't know if it's a real thing. Japan is fucking crazy. And, yeah, so then he has some flashbacks. You see his mom in the stars. There's other points in the show, and remember, this is 52 episodes. There's other points in the show where he sees his family members in the sky. Sometimes it's the moon, sometimes it's the stars, sometimes it's just random hallucinations wherever. I don't think that just because Simba sees his dead dad in the stars at some point, because like that's so thematically tied, right? I don't think that necessarily means it's a ripoff. People are saying that this character is Zazu, but like this guy, his character name is Polly Cracker. It's so lame. And his character is nothing like Zazu. Zazu's like super fucking timid and like royal, like monarchy little.
Insinuating Kimba's a coward? Kimba can out.
He's like this shot with his fist out. This is not an uncommon shot. This guy wants to fight all the fucking time. Totally in complete contradiction with Zazu's character. This is supposedly supposed to be Rafiki. Like, I'm sorry. Let's think of it this way. If you started with the base element of, I'm going to make a show or a movie about a lion character in Africa, of course he's going to have a friend that's a bird. Of course he's going to have a friend that's a fucking mandrill or like baboon or whatever. Like, these are African animals, right? There's a antelope. There's some hyenas, right? There's some zebras. What else do you have in Africa? Like, you're gonna go. This show completely exhausts all of the possible animals, all of the possible scenarios. Yes, of course, there's gonna be some shots where like there's a cliff. Yes, there's a cliff in both pieces of art. That doesn't mean it's a ripoff. Like, it's set in Africa, and the main character's a lion. There really isn't much similar. There really aren't that many similarities other than those basic things, and I've seen these YouTube videos. I'm gonna go through them again, and I'm about halfway through this show, but like, there's a villain in this whose name is Claw, and he keeps one eye closed. But he's not the only character in the show that keeps one eye closed, and that's a fucking trope. Like, regardless of whether or not this show exists, the facial deformity or scar thing, which in this show, it's not a scar. He just winks the whole fucking show. That's a trope. That's like a common villain trope. They're not the same characters at all. Just because they're like similar animals, they don't fulfill the same purpose at all. Right? Like, it's so unreasonable and unwarranted. The human characters in this show are part of the central conflict for the majority of the episodes, it seems. I'm on episode 31. The humans are like part of the conflict at all times. There's no humans in The Lion King. Like, it's such a completely different experience. It's so ridiculous that people are saying that The Lion King ripped this off. There is no fucking way in hell. Like, if you wanted to say that The Lion King was somewhat inspired by this show, I would say, okay. But for you to claim that there's any sort of, like, copyright infringement or anything even close to resembling copyright infringement, that's fucking bonkers, and you don't understand how any of this shit works. And by the way, there's points in this show that completely rip off things like Dumbo, right? There's like a hypnotism snake in here that's like ripping off the Jungle Book. And it's like, I get it. Jungle Book is public domain. Dumbo, I don't think it is. Is it? Is Dumbo public domain? I think that's a Disney property. Because if that's the case, then they're in more hot water for ripping off Dumbo because Japan doesn't even have such a thing as parody law, whereas America has fair use law. Japan doesn't even have parody law. So, like, you can't even claim it's a parody. But anyway, yeah. It's a fucking hilarious show that I would recommend. It's so fucking funny. It's so funny and ridiculous. By the way, this is his dead dad's corpse. His dad died in episode 1, and now his friends are dressing up as his dad. They took his hide. They took his corpse. And and they're trying to convince Kimba to do the right thing in like an episode. And so there's like the Polly Cracker is underneath the parrot. And like the gazelle or antelope. No, yeah, here we are. The baboon. The baboon. They're both inside here pretending to be his dead dad.
You were right, my boy. Killing is always wrong.
Ah!
Fine. Polly, now tell him to have courage no matter what.
You must have courage, Kimba, no matter what happens.
But the animals all agree with Samson. Maybe I'm wrong, but I want all of us, including the tamed animals, to live in peace.
Quick, tell me, what do I say?
Tell him he's right. No matter what, always stand up for what's right.
Always right.
Strong and firm.
Strong and firm.
And courageous.
And courageous.
Yeah, and not only that, but like, this isn't just a one-off thing. Like, his dead dad's corpse being tossed around in the show is not just a one-off thing. You can't just say like, oh, like one writer just had the wrong idea or one animator wanted to play a joke. This thing comes back consistently throughout the show. You see his dead dad. Like, oh, by the way, this is in France. He went to the World Fair. I'm not even fucking kidding. This is in France. He went to France to the World Fair. Like, The Lion King is such a ripoff of this. Most people that believe that think that this is a movie and not a 52-episode long TV show. Most people that have been persuaded by those manipulative YouTube videos and articles think that Kimba is a movie and not a 52-episode TV show. This is in France. Like,
Hands down.
yeah, I'll be editing through this shit later for like some funny clips. Because I'm going to mention this in my review, obviously. Those hyena characters are fucking annoying. Holy shit. Oh yeah, there's an invasion of grasshoppers. Kimba, I'm not even kidding. Like, this sounds like I'm making shit up. Oh yeah, here's his dad's corpse again. Oh my god. It's insane. I'm high energy because this show is so nuts. I'm high energy because, like, this is the most crazy fucking thing I've ever... I'm gonna watch the whole thing. It's hilarious.
I just couldn't let the others see how worried I was. Most of the time, I can be as brave as my father was and accept whatever happens. But sometimes, I feel so small and afraid. Oh, Father. We all miss you so. Someday I may be as strong
He still has his eyes. It's been, like, months.
Courageous, Caesar. When I'm older and have a beautiful white mane, and all the animals will look at me and say, there goes Kimba, the white lion. He's just like his father. Yes, someday. But if we don't win this battle with the insects, that day may never come. I can't wait until my mane grows. I've got to act now. But I won't be doing it alone. Father will help. Caesar will give us all courage.
Ah! He's wearing his dad's dead body. What the fuck?
Caesar will be watching. See that, Father? Just the memory of you inspires everyone with courage. Almost time. I know you'll do a good job.
What?
Remember his job now.
It's so weird.
All right, you insect invaders. We're ready for you.
Stand by! Here they come! They're almost here!
I don't know, but every time they show the corpse, he's like smiling. He's like doing like an angry. Look at this.
It worries me, though, and it's this. If I'm so much older and wiser, how come you come up with better ideas than I do?
Maybe it's because I have a special inspiration. Right, Father?
Right, Father? Haha. The end. What? Look. Like,
To disturb the peace of our kingdom.
Welcome back, I say.
Have a friendly
what the fuck is going on? Oh yeah. Then there's a flying tiger. Oh, there's a really good line here. Oh, there's a really good line here you have to hear.
What is it, Tootie? Look up there! Whoever you are, or what, tell me what's happened to Dodie's mother. And besides, how come you have wings?
That's a stupid question. Why does any...
Listen.
Whoever you are, or what, tell me what's happened to Dodie's mother. And besides, how come you have wings?
That's a stupid question. Why does anyone have wings?
They're offering completely different experiences. For anybody to say that Lion King ripped this off, you haven't even seen the fucking show, or you're stretching. Like, there are so many other things at play when you come to a conversation like that. Like, when you try to say, like, Disney, this gigantic corporation filled with evil, like, money counting white people, that turned out not the way I wanted to say it. Disney, this gigantic corporation, they, you know, like, people want to believe, like, oh no, like, the anime, they got ripped off by the American company, and the American company is so strong, and it's like, you can't just leave it at that sort of simplicity because you want to believe that. Disney sucks. I hate Disney. But in this case, they're not ripping off Kimba. Not at all. And I get why people want to believe that. People who haven't actually seen the show and have just seen some YouTube video where you take like a minute's worth of clips over the span of 52 half-hour-long episodes to try and pretend like, ooh, these shots look similar. Like, fuck off. It's so stupid.
Why do you suppose human beings would want to take so many pictures?
The reason I started watching this show is because I was like, oh yeah, of course, Disney ripped off this anime. Like, I didn't even go into it with like a negative attitude towards these claims, but the more I watched it, I was like, holy shit, this is actually bullshit. It's actually bullshit. I can't believe people are this stupid. Because when people think it's like a movie, when people think it's like, oh, a minute's worth of clips over the span of like an hour and a half, no, it's not. It's not over an hour and a half. It's over like 1,000 minutes. Yeah, the corpse of his father is a recurring character. There's like a cowboy episode where they have like a fucking fight scene in a saloon.
Huh? What was that noise? My slipper. Want to give up?
Yes, I finally see the light.
All right, then, let's go and free my friends.
Sure enough.
Yeah, he persuades every character by beating them up, basically. Every episode, they use these clips over and over again of the animals running, and like Kimba running, just so they can like change the backgrounds and save money on animation. I get it, animation's expensive, whatever. It's the 1960s, it's forgivable. It's kind of funny though.
Now you can get up.
And then, oh my god, there's so many good things that happen in this show. Oh yeah, then this fucking mammoth attacks them for no reason and is just like, oh, well, I'm gonna go. Yeah, there's so many human characters in this show, like, it's not the same experience at all. Look, it's his dead dad!
Father, humans and animals are going to live in peace, just the way you wanted it. There are 2 humans in the jungle now who want to learn more about us. Wait! I remember those 2 now. Son. Yes, Mother, what's wrong? I want you to look at these men, Kimba, and remember that...
He'll be here any minute.
Also, Kimba can speak English. He can speak English and talk to the human beings, and they have a school. They have a school where Kimba teaches the other animals English, and there's this overarching message of like wanting the other animals to become civilized like the human beings, and it's so ridiculously like the colonialist in overtones. Okay, so here's the character that's supposed to be Scar. He doesn't really show up for much of the series at all. Where is he? There he is. Because he's like winking constantly, it's like, oh, this is the same character. Yes, it's on the same eye. It's on the same eye. He's got a darker shade. If you're gonna make a villain, you're gonna make them a darker shade. That's a trope. You know, like facial deformities, that's a trope. It could have been completely independent. Could this possibly have been inspired? Yes, 100%. But it's not a ripoff. It's not a ripoff at all. They're completely different experiences. Oh my god, this one's so fucked up. So he goes to a lion convention. He literally goes to a lion convention where this spotted lion, who's like the uncle of the bitch he wants to fuck, who's also a kid. Oh, there's some good lines in here. You have to hear these lines.
Hello, Your Highness. You're looking well, sir. Good crowd this year, isn't it, sir? Who is this strange creature at our meeting?
I'm here for the first time, Your Majesty.
I asked you who you are.
Excuse me, Kimba's my name. Son of Caesar, the White Lion.
White Lion.
What's the matter?
Take a look around you at the other animals that have come here. You don't see anyone else that's white like you, do you? Don't see anyone else that's white like you, do you? This is a convention of lions, and it's no place for the likes of you. We don't welcome pussycats here.
Pussycats!
You're just a white pussycat like your father.
My father was not a pussycat.
Hold your tongue, I'm the king here, and if I say Caesar wasn't a lion, he wasn't.
He was a lion. You have no right to call him names.
Oh, wait. This line's the best.
You have no right to call him names just because he was white.
Get this kitten out of here.
Ah! He punches them! He's a lion! The fight scenes are like punching and kicking! It's so funny! Oh!
A lion like you. Hey! Kimba!
Ah!
Do you know this stranger, Kitty?
Oh, yes, Uncle Specklerex. He's a good friend of mine. Oh, please, Uncle, let me set him free, please.
Very well, I wouldn't do this for anyone else but you.
Is he Uncle Specklefreck or some shit? There's a really good line here. So basically,
Doesn't mean there aren't.
the ranger who's decided to live in the jungle for like no reason, because he's just like a furry or something, I don't know. He teaches Kimba about like ancient Egyptians, and like in ancient Egypt, they were like, oh, apparently they worshipped a bunch of like super white lions or something. And so then Kimba is basically like, oh, maybe I am a real lion even though I'm white. So like this is like a part of his learning process. So even though these corpses are like identical in character design to his dad, there's like a lineup of corpses. It's like
found the furs of countless white lions. They've been handed down from generation to generation. After studying some
okay.
old maps, I found out that the Kickapeel village was located right around here.
That proves that my father must have been related to the Egyptian white lion. All those ancestors were his.
Caesar's ancestors were yours.
Yes.
Caesar's ancestors were yours as well. They were all the strongest of lions with the special gifts of wisdom and leadership, just like your father. Kimba,
Oh wait, I think I'm waiting for the really good line. There's a amazing line here.
Kimba, your fur is white because you come from a long line of great leaders.
I hope I can...
I just died.
Kimba, your fur is white because you come from a long line of great leaders.
I hope I can be like my ancestors as well as look like them.
Yes, Kimba. Wherever they lived, they brought happiness to their friends.
Oh!
Yes, Roger Ranger, time for... Try and make friends.
Oh, it's so good. It's so funny. Oh my god.
Katie, open.
I've been like binge watching this the past couple days cuz like I want to be able to like make a legitimate claim about whether or not The Lion King apparently ripped this off. I am not fucking convinced at all. So here's what I've watched through so far basically. I'm just going through it. Oh yeah. The alligator kidnaps the kids, and then Kimba puts on a fucking scuba suit! A fucking scuba diving... Remember in The Lion King where Simba wore scuba gear? Oh yeah, and then the ranger forgot to turn his fucking oxygen. He put the shit on him, and he forgot to turn the oxygen on.
Those alligators are much too stupid to know what's going on.
That's too loud. They'll hear you, Polly. Hey, good luck out.
What? Like, oops. I didn't give you any training for this scuba gear. Like, apparently Kimba's gonna get the bends or some shit. Like, I don't know.
I am the
Oh yeah, more like hypnotic eyes snake bullshit going on here. Like, The Lion King ripped this off. This didn't rip off The Jungle Book in any way. Oh yeah, then, oh my god, the structure of this episode is so fucked. You have to understand this. So the episode starts with a gigantic snake that is hypnotizing all the animals, and he's like gonna fuck them up, and he really hates Kimba for no reason other than people respect Kimba, and he's like, well, you're not so great, I want to be the greatest. And then end the snake section. Apparently he hypnotized people over generations. They flash back to like him hypnotizing humans. Then we forget about the snake. And then we get another plot line about this stinky ass bird. This boy. Look at this.
Hi, Jenny. What's happening? Look out, girls! It's Rancid again! Oh, get me out of here!
His name's Rancid, and everybody hates him because he smells bad. Should have been a skunk character, if you're asking me. But anyway, this fucking vulture or whatever. He stinks so bad, and then Kimba's like,
Dodie's my friend because she's friendly. And I like Geraldine because she likes me. Very good answers, girls. We all choose our friends for the way they behave, not the way they look, don't we? Don't judge a book by its cover. That's a good rule to follow, isn't it? I want you all to put it into practice by making friends with Rancid the Reeky Bird. He's great.
yeah, so Kimba plays Dr. Phil in like every episode. And then to prove his point, he's like, don't judge a book by its cover. By the way, let me tell you, remember, this is the snake episode. We started with a giant snake. Then it's Rancid the bird, and then he goes into a flashback, and the flashback takes place in England. And this never happened before he went to France before, but now he's in England. This is a flashback, and this is the same as the snake episode, right? And so there's like a bunch of dogs that are trying to kill a cat, and then these like evil British men or evil American dub voice actor men that are pretending to be evil British men are attacking the cat, and then they find out that the cat is valuable. There's like, oh, I just read a newspaper. There's a missing cat and there's a $1,000 reward. They're like, I want the cat. And then they leave, and that's it. And like, there was nothing in this story whatsoever about don't judge a book by its cover. That moral was not in this story. And yet, they end the story and say this.
Say, there's a lesson in it too, isn't there? Yes, don't judge an animal by the way it looks. All of us animals were created equal, so we should be kind to...
Yeah, there was a lesson in there. Don't judge an animal by the way it looks. What? How could you possibly get that from that story? That doesn't make any sense. And then they go back to Mr. Stinky, and then they go back to the snake, and then the Stinky boy comes, and they're like, oh man. Okay, so we have like a little bit of a fight scene. Then the Stinky boy comes, and then the snake's hypnotism powers don't work because of the smell. So Stinky Boy comes, and Kimba's able to fight him properly because his hypnotism powers don't work anymore because it smells so bad. They're like, I'm glad that Rancid was here, that we were able to accept him as friends. And that was literally the structure of this episode. That was literally the structure. It's ridiculous. It's so funny.
Tell me why you don't like what happened. I knew
It's so good.
How many times?
It's so fucking bonkers. You have no idea. Oh my god. This episode is like the most morbid shit on the fucking planet, and it's like not self-aware at all. So we have elephant trouble, right? Elephant trouble. It starts out, and like apparently there's like some sort of game preserve or whatever, where like hunters can hunt whatever. Oh yeah, by the way, they have a restaurant now. They have a school and a restaurant. They also have a hospital later. No, this is not even the same episode. There's one called Elephant Trouble. The other episode I'm looking for is called Too Many Elephants. I'm sorry. So this elephant just wants to fuck up their restaurant for no reason. That's not the morbid one. Oh my god, it's not even until later. I guess I'll save it. Yeah, they have a restaurant and a hospital and a school. Oh yeah, there's an episode where they all get like AIDS. There's like a virus that destroys all of them. Oh yeah, they eat the grasshoppers. Oh my god. They start eating the grasshoppers because Kimba is like insistent that everybody goes vegan. He's like, we want a peaceful I'm not even kidding. I'm not even fucking kidding. He's like, everybody go vegetarian. Everybody go... Yeah, it wasn't AIDS, obviously. It was the 60s. AIDS wasn't invented yet. Everybody go vegetarian, and then let's eat all the grasshoppers in this cave, and then somebody calls him out on his bullshit. And he's like, but aren't grasshoppers kind of sentient? And then he's like, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't eat grasshoppers. And then they try to, like, solve problems of, like, food storage, so they try to, like, dry things out to make them preserve better. And then all these, like, predators get fat because they're eating too many grasshoppers. And then they can't battle properly, but they don't even get unfat by the end of the episode, and Kimba just does everything by himself anyway. So, like, what lesson was learned? I don't know. Oh my god, this is the gypsy episode. This is the there's a gypsy.
I recognize that whistle of yours, Hatchet.
You should, old friend, in partner in crime.
But that was many years ago that we were partners in crime. Now I have given up all that.
Don't tell me that you've forgotten how to make your famous poisons.
Of course I haven't forgotten. It's just that I choose not to do it.
Ah, you must be joking.
I'm not joking. In my old age, I've decided to do what's right. Laugh if you want, it's true.
It is not.
Yes.
Well then, I've got one more job for you, and you'll do it because it is very important for me. Understand, Gypsy?
I refuse.
Gypsy! He literally called her that.
I refuse to make...
That's her, like, character name, and then people, like, play on it in the show, too. Oh my god. Oh, is this it? Too many elephants. Okay, get ready for a fucking, like, one of the most disturbing things in the world. Like, content creators on YouTube, make a fucking video about this episode. You'll get tons of views. So this starts out with, like, the ranger's uncle shows up into the jungle and is like, hey, son, come back. What the fuck have you been doing this whole time? I miss you. And then the ranger's like, oh, I guess maybe I'll come back. And then in the midst of this conversation, he's like, by the way, there's like this game preserve where they're about to exterminate all the elephants for no reason. And Kimba's like, oh, and then he goes over and he's like, I gotta save the elephants. You're all gonna get exterminated for no reason. And then the elephants like beat him up. Except there's this one tiny fucking elephant that's like the creepiest fucking thing in the
Run
world.
out and look for him.
That's its voice. That's its voice. It's the creepiest thing in the fucking world. And there's one elephant that's nice to him, and it's this little fucking baby. And then all the other elephants are kind of assholes to him. And literally, the way that they're going to exterminate the elephants, they like bring in the fucking army, and there's like tanks and missiles and shit. And like, so Kimba tries to like warn them, but they don't want to listen, and they're like, yeah, you're dumb. And they like throw him around a bunch, and people take pictures and shit. They're like, haha, it's a funny lion. And then like the other the two human characters are like, okay, I guess we better go help. So they ride on the backs of some fast animals. And then this little baby is like, hey, I'm your friend still. And Kimba's like, okay, well, your entire race is going to be exterminated. And so he hides them in this like tree fort or whatever, this like observation station with a telescope or whatever. He hides him there. And then the elephant genocide happens. The elephant fucking genocide. Like, they've got tanks, and they're shooting from helicopters, and they're, like, running them into this, like, enclosed area, this rock wall, and they're all trapped. And like, they literally just blow up the walls. They blow up the fucking walls. And they kill all of them. And they all die. And they're all dead. They're literally all dead. And Kimba's like, oops, that sucks. And then the one elephant that's not the baby that survives just happens to be the mother of the baby, just so you can have like almost a happy ending. Almost a happy ending. And it's like this weird ass shit. What does Kimba say again?
Tanks are going back. That means I'm too late.
Single tear.
I'm sorry, elephants. I tried to save you.
There's this good line where he's like, oh, if only they weren't such jerks or some shit. Oh yeah, then he fights a helicopter.
Oh, darling. Hi. Hello. Why couldn't all the elephants be nice like Pee-wee?
Oh, let's hear that again. That was it.
Why couldn't all the elephants be nice like Pee-wee? Then they wouldn't have had to be exterminated.
What?
Why couldn't all the elephants be nice like Pee-wee? Then they wouldn't have had to be exterminated. Dermis packed a mean wallop, all right, but I'm sorry I couldn't save him.
This show is fucking insane. All right. Yeah. So I'll be finding those specific clips later that I want to use, but like, it's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. Oh yeah, there's like a high-speed train chase in this one. But The Lion King totally ripped this off because some of the shots look similar and some of the characters are the same species, even though they're not the same character at all. They're completely different characters. Okay. Please watch it. It's fucking insane. It's actual insanity. It's like like I'm on episode 30 something now, and it's like the most bonkers shit I've ever seen in the fucking world.
I know this guy. Hey, Dan, like, okay, so just like, we got a little Detroit in the house.
Little Detroit in the house.
Well, welcome. So tell me about how did you even find out you had this woman?
You know, it's not terribly exciting. It's one of those things where the agent calls you and then you run a full block screaming and people don't know which happens every day in New York City where I live, so it's not that big of a deal. It's like just, it's like a regular day in New York City. But the agent, they call John Favreau and I are acquainted, and I was really looking forward to working with him. Also, I mean, what's really even there to say? It's like the fact that you get to do something like, first of all, James Earl Jones, national treasure, right? And then they said, okay, so you did the Lion King. After Beyonce, you know, like then you get up off the floor, you were there for a couple hours, you didn't know time passed, and so I'm just overjoyed. I'm overjoyed. And here's the thing: nobody's seen anything. Like this is not. No one's playing coy. We don't know what's going on. Like we're waiting for this the same way you guys are.
Have you ever had a movie experience like that?
No, like you've always been able to go and do ADR, even looping. Like when they're not done with something, you get to do reshoots, you get to watch some of the footage. Nothing here, and so this is super exciting.
But some of the characters at least got to work and play against other characters.
And I got to do that. I did get to do that. Which, yeah. So Eric Andre and I got some of the footage. Nothing. When they're not done with something, you get to do. We're waiting for this the same way you guys are.
Have you ever had a movie experience like that?
No, we're waiting for this the same way you guys are.
Have you ever had a movie experience like that?
No, like you've always been able to go.